And as the two political parties, the governing NPP and the opposition NDC, prepare to launch their manifestos, conversations around what should go into that document has intensified. Dr. Bawumia this week announced a team to work on his manifesto with former majority leader leading that charge. The NDC's flag bearer, John Mahama, is also in a policy dialogue to generate ideas for the party's manifesto. There have been concerns, however, that manifestos of political parties over the period have often not captured the real problems affecting the people. What then should be the focus of the political parties in preparing this all-important document? I've been joined by former UN advisor on governance and CEO of the Prof Foundation, Professor Agyeman-Duah. Grateful for your time, sir. First, let's look at the critical role this document plays in our politics.
Well, thank you for having me. Manifestos, as you know, has been part of our system since the beginning of this republic. Every 4 years, the parties come to tell us what they plan to do for the coming 4 years. But you know, for me, from the experience of the past 30 years, it seems to me that these manifestos are really not relevant to the way our governments govern those who get into power. Most of it, the manifestos are just promising people what leaders or the political parties will do when they win power. In power, we normally see things differently, either because they miscalculated the resources available for them to have promised all those tall things that they wanted to do, or maybe their mind changed once they got into power. So the manifestos for me are not critical. What is critical for me, and as they are preparing their manifestos, is to look at the fundamental issues of governance and development in our country. And I'm sure we'll be discussing that as we go on. They don't have to tell people what they want to hear in order to win elections. And that's what they do. Tell all kinds of stories, things that they dream about, which they know cannot be realized, only because they think that the electorate are vulnerable. They can take them for a run. And that has been the case over the years. So in my view, in my humble view, this time around, we are hoping that they will come with solid proposals to reverse the trend in our economy and our political system. If they can promise to do that, then I'm sure we'll be on the way to recovery.
About critical issues that they must focus on. What are these critical issues they must focus on?
For the sake of this conversation, I'll pick just two. The first one is what all of us know. The economy of this country has been wobbling for many, many years, decades, I should say, only because we tend to deal with the superficialities of the government. Look, the fact is that we have an economy that is fully dependent on the global economy that is fully dependent on handouts from the international financial institutions, economy whose budget, a nation whose budget is oftentimes subvented by donors. That is not an independent economy. So we have to be serious to think and strategize on how we will reverse this dependency syndrome that we have been engulfed in, and to see how we can reduce, at least for the beginning, to reduce the extent of dependence.
So Professor Agyeman-Duah is the former UN advisor on governance. He's also the CEO of the Prof Foundation. He has been helping us understand the importance of this document called Manifestos. Of course, there are issues also concerning the fact that political parties actually put in a lot of things to get these manifestos, and then when they come to power, they really don't make reference to the manifestos. When I get him back, he will be telling us more on what should be done as we gear up for the 2024 elections. So we have Professor Agyeman Agyeman-Duah, right, so we're trying to get Professor Agyeman-Duah to come back for us to continue this conversation. But it's a very important conversation as the political parties prepare their manifestos. What do the people want? What are their aspirations? What are their expectations? This is what we are going to be having. Professor Agyeman-Duah, I'm happy you are back. So you were talking about what issues must really be the focus of these political parties.
The focus should be on how we reverse the downside of our economy, how we strategize to avoid borrowing to be the main sustenance of our economy. Fortunately or unfortunately for us, we know that we cannot go to the Eurobond again because we have overborrowed, we've hit the ceiling. So the parties have the responsibility to tell Ghanaians how they're going to fund the project that they propose. Of course, domestic resource, financial mobilization, taxation and all, but then also they should know that when you overtax people, you kill local business, and that is happening in the country. So how they bring this country out of the economic logjam to be number one. And as I say, there are so many